Hi, everyone. So, this is another story I want to share. This happened a while ago. This is my first sort of rebellious encounter with, hopefully, my last and my only rebellious encounter with an authority figure. So, this was when I was in elementary school. I was probably like 6 or 7 at the time, 5 even. And I had just watched that Jim Carrey movie where he's a lawyer called Liar Liar. And in that movie, he goes, "BANWOOGIN!" And I thought it was funny. And so, of course, being the kid that I was imitating it. So one day at school, I went to the restroom, and there were other kids in there. And I thought it'd be funny if I just went, "BANWOOGIN!" as I was doing my business and washing my hands. And so I walked out into the hallway. I started walking back to class. And in the middle of that hallway, about, not in front of me, but down the hallway, just before my door to my class, he was like, he was towards me just before my door to my class that I was heading to, was a white guy with a beard and spiky hair, with his arms crossed and his legs spread. And he was just staring at me with a scowl on his face. And he goes, "Was that you?" And I go, "What?" He goes, "Was that you? Was that you screaming?" And I think he knows that I was guilty, because I was like, "What?" Like, imagine me as like a little six-year-old shithead going, "But it wasn't me." He was going, and I don't know why. It was a really shitty school. It was a charter school that was built out of an old office building. So they weren't actual like school classrooms with like lockers and like an actual floor plan. It was just, everyone was just kind of in different rooms. And apparently he's told me, "Do you know what's on the other side of that wall in the bathroom?" And I go, "No, I don't know what's on the other side of the wall." He goes, "It's the offices." Okay, like he was in that office, and apparently he heard me screaming, and he was saying how loud I was being. And I'm standing there, and I'm scared. I'm very scared, because I ain't never gotten in trouble before. Besides maybe one other time, but only time in the act. And so he goes, "Who's your teacher?" And I didn't tell him. I said, "I'm not telling you." And I start getting defensive. I start going, "No, I'm not telling you." I start raising my voice at him, and he raises his voice back. He says, "Who's your teacher?" And I start screaming, and I kind of black out here. This is when I don't remember, but I think I somehow escaped punishment. He just kind of, or I think my teacher heard, and she came out, she said, "What's the problem?" And he kind of like let me into her classroom. And I don't know how, but I think I sort of slipped by punishment. And after that, I just kind of felt bad and defeated that I was being really annoying, and then I kind of just became defensive about it. But yeah, that was my first sort of, actually maybe more my second getting in trouble story. My first time I ever got in trouble for doing something bad was when I was in class in first grade. This was second grade. When I was in first grade, I broke crayons in class out of anger, and I had to write a letter on why it was bad. But yeah, that was like my second getting in. This incident was like my second time ever getting in trouble. And yeah, so that's that story. And I have other stories coming. But yeah, tell me what you think. Was he justified? Was I justified? I don't think I was, but yeah. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.